Yo, what is up everyone? This is OJ over here from PlayerEssence and welcome to the PE Nintendo Switch news video that I have here for you guys, and I am so grateful that you're able to join me for this video. We've got a bunch of great topics to get into, so let's go ahead and jump right into it. So, the Japanese website for the Nintendo Switch has confirmed that the battery life for the Joy-Cons, each one of them, is 20 hours, while the Pro Controller is 40 hours. So this is actually some pretty good news. 20 hours for the Joy-Cons, 40 hours for the Pro Controller. That kind of lines up with what Nintendo has had last generation with Wii remotes and with Pro Controllers. Well, actually the one exception is the Pro Controller, because the Pro Controller for the Nintendo Wii U does last around 80 hours. I remember pretty much playing all of Xenoblade Chronicles X on one charge. So that is a little bit of a drop, about 50%. However, the Nintendo Switch Pro Controller is far more advanced than the Nintendo Wii U Pro Controller. They've pretty much confirmed at this point that the Nintendo Switch Pro Controller will have motion controls, so an accelerometer on there. It will have an NFC chip built in for Amiibo, and there's more that they've said. They said that there's more, but they've only revealed those two. I'm guessing, if it's just me to just make a guess, I'm guessing that Nintendo Switch Pro Controller will also have Bluetooth and a couple other features. So there's definitely some stuff we still need to learn about the Pro Controller, and I think that's why it's actually jumped up in price quite a bit. Some people are complaining about the $69.99 price tag, and rightfully so, and especially with the Joy-Cons as well. I think those are $79.99. They're definitely pricey, but even with the Joy-Cons, there's actually a lot of great tech built into it. It has the accelerometers, it has the IR function, they have NFC chip built into it, it has a camera-ish thingy on there so you can sense like range IR. So I mean, it's just, there's a lot of stuff built into that, plus the record snapshot feature. So they are building some good tech into it, and if you look at the ARMS demo or the ARMS gameplay, the motion control in that is far advanced than what we saw on the Wii and the Wii U. That is apparent, and not only that, but it's responsive, and that's what I like about that. So that is one thing for people who do like those type of games. For me, I've never been a huge motion control guy, but if the motion control works for the game that you're putting it in for example like Metroid Prime 3, this, as far as ARMS goes, far better motion control than we've seen in a lot of Nintendo's games. So I'm okay with that. Plus there's an option to play with buttons as well. But for me, I do think that it is a bit pricey for both of them, but I do think that the tech will be good. So at least you're getting a quality product for what you're purchasing. All right, moving on to the next topic here. We do have more details on the Nintendo Switch as far as cartridge, storage space, and potential for external hard drives. The Nintendo Switch cartridges are not rewritable, okay? You can only read data from them. The Nintendo Switch will also support up to 2 terabytes of additional storage via high-capacity SD cards, micro SDXC. However, those size of memory cards are not available yet, so you'll have to opt for the smaller ones, and the most affordable so far is 256 gigabytes. The Nintendo Switch can also support external hard drives via the USB 2.0 port, but Nintendo has not activated this feature yet. There's been some concern whether activating this at the beginning will actually discourage the portable use of the function of the console if, like, let's say you put a game on the external hard drive and then you take your console somewhere and then you're like, oops, I can't play the game because it's on my hard drive at home. So they're not quite letting people do that at this point, so I think I'll talk about that a little bit. I think it makes sense as trying to advertise the system as a portable and a console, so I think it makes sense for at this point to just say, hey, use micro SD cards in the meantime, and then maybe later down the line, once everything's been settled and the marketing is already done as far as what the system can do, then you quietly update it to where anybody can use external hard drives and plug that in and have it as like a fully dedicated home console, I guess. But for right now, I think it's a good decision just to support those micro SD cards. And like I said, I've been looking online as far as affordability of these cards, and a lot of them are cheap. So to me, that actually makes sense for right now at this point. And yeah, there shouldn't be any long-term storage issues when it comes to Nintendo Switch, kind of like how the actual Wii had. Remember that? When you actually had to clean out the refrigerator? And it's funny because I actually somewhat clean out the refrigerator sometimes on my PS4 and Xbox One, because every single game you have to actually write to the hard drive, whether it's a physical or a digital. Whereas with Nintendo Switch, you have to remember that these game cards, fast boot, fast load, so you actually don't have to write the data onto the actual hard drive. Same thing as the Wii U. You don't actually have to write it to the actual hard drive. With Nintendo Switch, everything is fine. So if you buy all of your games physical, you'll have no issues with storage whatsoever, even though the Nintendo Switch only has 32 gigabytes of internal storage. All right, and moving on to the last topic here, we're going to be discussing the Nintendo Switch's UI. That was actually revealed in bits and parts of the Nintendo Treehouse live stream before the Zelda footage, and this is what I love about the UI. Simple, fast, clean. What they did is they took the best part of what they did with the Wii U. Instead of dropping down into Miiverse and causing all that loading and all that stuff going on, that's going on in the background with War Plaza and all those things, they just said skip all that. Gamers just want to play games, and all you see was that quick boot menu. It's basically the quick boot menu redone, made a little bit bigger, nicer, and fresh, and just put on there. And that's great. You know why that's great? Because that's going to take up less resources for the gigabytes internal storage, RAM, and all of that. So it's going to open things up for developers and for games. So I really like the fact that Nintendo just said, hey, skip all of the noise, skip all of the noise. Let's directly focus on getting into the games, probably getting into settings quickly, getting into matches quickly. So I really love that they did that. And speaking of Miiverse, there will be no Miiverse or Street Pass, at least initially on the system. Nintendo has revealed. So that kind of lends more into this system being more of a successor, I guess, to the Nintendo Wii U than to the 3DS, because 3DS you would think definitely would have a successor with some type of Street Pass functionality. So I do believe that this system is a true successor, or hybrid as you say, to both the Nintendo 3DS and to the Wii U, taking some of the best aspects of both of them, but really taking some of the best aspects of all of Nintendo's consoles and kind of throwing it into one. Alright guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Go ahead and hit that like button if you did like it. Lets me know you guys want more content like this going forward in the future, and subscribe to PlayerEssence for more news, reviews, trailers, tips, and tricks, and everything in gaming. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you guys for the next video. Peace.